Hello everyone, welcome to the online learning series. Today's session we are going to study about projectile motion. First let us understand what is projectile motion. Let me consider I have a ball which is initially thrown into air with certain initial velocity v0. So I am throwing a ball into the space with some initial velocity v0. Now, after the ball enters the space, it will be under the influence of the gravitational force. The force of gravity will be applied on the ball. Now, the ball is under the gravitational force alone. Let us neglect the air resistance here. Then, such motion of a body which is under the influence of gravity alone is called as projectile motion. Let me first write down what is projectile motion. It is the motion of an object thrown with some initial velocity and allowed to move in two dimensions under the force of gravity alone is called as projectile motion. Projectile motion is when you are going to project a body with some initial velocity and that body is allowed to move in two dimensions under the force of gravity alone is called as projectile motion. Now in a previous chapter, motion in a straight line, we have studied about free fall. What is free fall? Whenever a body is up in air with only under the influence of force of gravity is called as free fall. But what is the difference between projectile motion and free fall? In case of free fall, it is a one-dimensional motion. You are going to consider only the y component. There is no horizontal motion in case of one-dimensional motion or the free fall. In case of projectile motion, it is a two-dimensional motion in which there is change in both x and as well as y axis. Let me consider a particle which is thrown into space with some initial velocity. So, this object is being obliquely thrown into space. The motion of this ball can be described using two axes here. One is along the x-axis, another one along the y-axis. So, there are two components which we have to study here. The x component, let me call it as v0x and the y component as v0y. What does this v0x does? The v0x is nothing but the uniform velocity. This component in the x-axis is the uniform velocity and there is no force along this horizontal direction. There is no force acting along the horizontal direction. Therefore, I can say the acceleration along the x-axis is completely zero. Therefore, this is the uniform velocity and this helps the ball to move in the forward direction. What does this velocity does? It helps the ball to move in the forward direction. Coming to the y component, this v0y will help the body to move in the vertical direction. And what is the force which is acting on the ball in the vertical direction? That is the gravitational force. The ball is under the influence of gravitational force and therefore the acceleration is present here. The ay is nothing but minus g, that is g is the acceleration due to gravity. It is taken to be negative. So, in y component there is some acceleration. The uniform acceleration is present, which is nothing but minus g. In a projectile motion, the motion is analyzed by using two components, one along x-axis, another along y-axis. The component along x-axis is the uniform velocity, which helps the body to move in a forward direction, and the component along y-axis is the uniform acceleration, which makes the body to move along the vertical direction. Now, whatever the object which I am going to throw into the space is called as projectile, or the particle which follows this projectile motion is called as projectile, and the path followed by the object is called as trajectory. Now, let us study what will be the trajectory of a projectile. So, I have drawn two axes here, x and y axis. This is the origin which I am going to call as point of projection. That is, from here I am going to project the object. Therefore, this is called as point of projection. Let me project the body with some initial velocity which is taken as v0. So, I am projecting the body with some initial velocity v0. Now, what are the components along x-axis and y-axis? So, as I told you, in case of projectile motion, I am going to study both, or I am going to analyze both the x component as well as y component. Therefore, let me take up the x component first. So, this is the x component which I am going to name as v0 x I cap. Since it is in the x direction, I am going to take up the unit vector I cap, and along the y direction, the component is taken as v0 y j cap. So, this is the initial velocity v0. The component along the x-axis is v0 x I cap, and component along y-axis is v0 y j cap. And let me call this angle as theta. This angle theta is the angle of projection. So, angle theta is the angle between this initial velocity and the horizontal component. Therefore, this theta is called as angle of projection. Now, using this theta, I can resolve this vector v0 as v0 cos theta and v0 sin theta. Therefore, the x component is, this can also be written as v0 cos theta, and the y component is also written as v0 sin theta. So, we have resolved this vector v0 into v0 cos theta and v0 sin theta. Now, the body has been projected in this direction. Now, after some time, the body will be somewhere here. It has been projected in this direction. Let me say the ball which I have thrown is at this point. Next, what happens is, there is no change in the x component. Throughout the journey, there will be no change in the x component. Only the y component is changing. That is because there is no force acting in the horizontal direction. There is no force in the horizontal direction. Therefore, this v0 cos theta component will remain the same throughout. But what about the y component? The gravitational force is acting in the downward direction, in the vertical direction. Therefore, every time the body moves up, the y component decreases. It goes on decreasing. Let me say this x component will be the same. I am going to take up the length of this x component the same. It has not been changed. Therefore, this is v0 x I cap. But what about the vertical component? Vertical component has decreased. Before it was this much, now it has been decreased due to the gravitational force. Therefore, I am going to take this y component as vy j cap. Because of this change or the decrease in the y component, the vector is also going to change its direction. The resultant vector will have a different direction than this, or this angle theta is going to change. Therefore, let me say this is the direction of the velocity now. Next, let me take up a point somewhere here. And this is the highest point. Let me say this is the highest point. What happens at the highest point? That is, when I throw a ball, it goes up, reaches some highest point and comes back. What happens at that highest point? At the highest point, the horizontal component will be the same. There is no change in the horizontal component. The horizontal component is the same because there is no force in the horizontal direction. Coming to the vertical component is going to decrease further. So what happens at the highest point? At the highest point, the vertical component completely becomes 0. So at this point, Vy will be equal to 0. And what happens to angle theta? Angle theta will also be 0. In this case, the resultant vector is nothing but the direction of the horizontal component. So when I initially projected a body, it had V naught as its initial velocity. The velocity has two components, V naught x I cap and V naught y j cap. But as the object moves up, what happens to the horizontal component? It remains same. But what about the vertical component? It goes on decreasing as the force of gravitation is acting on the object in the vertical direction. Now at the highest point, the velocity along the vertical component completely vanishes and only the horizontal component will be present. Let me take up a point somewhere here. At this point, again the horizontal component will be the same, that is V naught x I cap remains the same, there is no change. Coming to the vertical component, since the object is coming down, the force of gravity is also acting along the downward direction. Therefore, there will be some velocity, that is Vy j cap. Next, what happens to the resultant vector? The resultant vector will be in some direction like this. Next, let me take a point somewhere here. At this point, again the vertical component is going to increase and the horizontal component will remain the same. Therefore, this is V naught x I cap, the same thing. But what about the vertical component? Vertical component has increased. These two will be the same. This is V naught y j cap. And we'll have some velocity, resultant velocity in this direction, which is same as the initial velocity. Now if I just draw the trajectory, what do I get? Let me join all these vectors, then I am going to get something like this. If I throw a cricket ball or a basketball or the bullet which is fired from a rifle are all a very good example for this projectile motion. Now looking into this trajectory, let us now write an equation for the path followed by this projectile. Let us now derive an equation for path of a projectile. So as we have seen, the projectile has been projected with an initial velocity V naught, which is been resolved into two components, one along the x-axis and another along the y-axis. The component along x-axis is taken as V naught cos theta and the component along y-axis is taken as V naught sin theta, where theta is the angle of projection. Now in this case, as the object moves upward, we can see the horizontal component has not changed. The magnitude of the horizontal component remains the same as there is no force in the direction of horizontal component. And coming to the vertical component goes on decreasing and becomes 0 at the highest point. And again it is going to increase as the projectile comes down. So this is what the diagram of the projectile motion looks like. Now let us write the equation for this path of the projectile. So this projectile motion can be called as a combined effect of the horizontal component as well as the vertical component. Therefore, first let me write down the formula for the horizontal component. X is equal to x naught, V naught xt plus half ax t square. Similarly, I can write the formula for the vertical component. Now, since this is the origin and this is where I am going to take the point of projection, I am going to take x naught, y naught as 0, 0. Therefore, this x naught becomes 0 plus what is v naught x? It is nothing but the x component, which is v naught cos theta into t plus half. What about the acceleration along the x-axis? It is 0. There is no force, therefore no acceleration. It is 0 t square. Next, this can be written as v naught cos theta into t, and this term completely becomes 0. This is x, or I can write this equation as t is equal to x by v naught cos theta. So, I got the time from this equation. Using the formula for distance travelled in the x direction, I got this time t is equal to x by v naught cos theta. Let me find out the distance travelled in the y direction. So, the formula will be y is equal to y naught plus v naught y t plus half ay t square. Let me substitute. Y naught is taken to be 0 plus what is v naught y? It is the component in the y direction, which is nothing but v naught sin theta into t plus half into what is gy, that is acceleration along the y direction, is nothing but minus g. G is the acceleration due to gravity, it is taken negative into t square. Now let me substitute for the t. T is x by v naught cos theta. Let us substitute that. This is v naught sin theta into x by v naught cos theta minus half g x square by v naught square cos square theta. Next, I will rearrange this. V naught and v naught gets cancelled. Sin theta by cos theta can be written as tan theta. So, tan theta into x minus g by 2 v naught square cos square theta into x square. This is what the distance in the y direction is. So, this equation can be compared with the equation of parabola. The equation of parabola is equal to ax plus bx square. So, this can be compared with this equation where a and b are constants here. So, when I compare these two equations, I am going to get a as equal to tan theta and b as equal to minus g by 2 v naught square cos square theta, which are nothing but the constants. And therefore, equation of the path of a projectile is a parabola, or the trajectory of a projectile is a parabola. Let me write down the trajectory of a projectile is a parabola. Remember this, the path followed by a projectile is always a parabola. Next, it is time to find the time of flight, which is denoted by TF. So, what is time of flight? Time of flight is the complete time taken by the projectile to reach the ground. So, first I am going to find out time taken by the projectile to reach the highest point. That is denoted by the letter Tm. To find the time taken to reach the maximum height, I am going to use the formula Vy is equal to V naught y plus Ay t. Now, this is equal to, what is V naught y? It is nothing but V naught sin theta. V naught sin theta. And this Ay is minus g. Therefore, this is minus g into Tm. Tm is the time taken to reach the maximum height, and at this time what happens to the Vy, the velocity at the maximum height, will be equal to 0. Therefore, I am going to take this as 0. Tm is the time taken by the projectile to reach the maximum height, but at that point the velocity of the vertical component will be 0. Therefore, in this equation Vy is 0, V naught y is V naught sin theta, Ay is nothing but minus g, T is taken as Tm. Now let me find out what is Tm here. Tm will be equal to V naught sin theta by g. I just brought this minus GTm towards this side of the equation. So that becomes plus, and Tm will be equal to V naught sin theta by g. This is the time taken by the projectile to reach this maximum height. Now if I want to find the total time taken or the time of flight, what should I do? This time of flight Tf is nothing but 2 times Tm. That is, the time taken for this ascent is equal to time taken for descent. The time intervals to reach the highest point and again reach the ground is same. Therefore, Tf is equal to 2 times Tm. Then Tf, the time of flight, will be equal to 2 into V naught sin theta by g. The formula for the time of flight is Tf is equal to 2 V naught sin theta by g. Next, let us find the maximum height of a projectile. This is denoted by the letter Hm. What is the maximum height of a projectile? It is the maximum height reached by the projectile. So this is the maximum height reached by the projectile. So let me mark this as Hm. What is this distance is what we have to find now. What happens at the maximum height? So to find the maximum height of a projectile, I am going to use the formula y is equal to y naught plus v naught y t plus half ay t square. The t which I am going to take here is Tm, because I am calculating the distance from the ground to the maximum height. Therefore, I need only the time of ascent. Therefore, I will just take Tm. Now, in this case, y naught will be taken as 0 because the point from where I have projected the particle or the body is x naught y naught, which is equal to 0, 0. Therefore, y naught will be 0. Coming to v naught y. It is nothing but V naught sin theta, the component along the y-axis, and Tm, as we have already found out, it is V naught sin theta by g, and Ay is nothing but minus g. Let us substitute these things here, and y I am going to take it as Hm. It is the maximum height reached by the projectile. Hm is equal to 0 plus V naught sin theta into V naught sin theta by g and minus half Ay is g, Tm square will be V naught square. Let me erase this. It is V naught square sin square theta by g square. So we have substituted y naught as 0, v naught y as v naught sin theta, Tm as v naught sin theta by g, minus, because I have a negative sign here, therefore I have just multiplied it. I got minus half Ay is nothing but g, and Tm square will be v naught square sin square theta by g square. Here 1g and this g gets cancelled. Therefore, this will be equal to, I can multiply them, I will get v naught square sin square theta by g minus v naught square sin square theta by 2g. I can take v naught square sin square theta by g common here. So, if I take v naught square sin square theta by g common, what am I left with? Here 1 and here minus half. 1 minus half is half. Therefore, the formula for the maximum height attained by the projectile will be V naught square sine square theta by 2g. Let me write that here. The maximum height is equal to V naught square sine square theta by 2g. This is the maximum height attained by the projectile. So, this maximum height depends on the initial velocity and the angle of projection. Next, let us find the horizontal range of a projectile. It is denoted by the letter capital R. What is horizontal range? The projectile has moved in the vertical direction as well as in the horizontal direction. There are two components of this projectile. One is in the horizontal direction and the other one in the vertical direction. So, we have found the maximum height reached by the body, but what will be the horizontal range of the body, that is the distance moved in the horizontal direction. So, this distance moved by the projectile in the horizontal direction is called as horizontal range, or it is also called as range of a projectile. It is denoted by the letter R. To find the range of a projectile, we are going to use the formula. This range is nothing but the distance. So, the formula for distance is velocity into time. Therefore, range is equal to velocity. But which component of the velocity should I take? It is the horizontal component. I am not going to consider the vertical component here. We will just consider the horizontal component. Horizontal component V naught x into t. But in this case, the time will be the total time, that is the time of flight. Therefore, this is Tf. So, R will be equal to V naught cos theta into 2V naught sin theta by g. The time of flight is 2V naught sin theta by g. This equation can be rearranged as equal to V naught into V naught is V naught square into 2 sin theta cos theta by g, or I can write the horizontal range as equal to V naught square. 2 sin theta cos theta is nothing but sin 2 theta by g. So, this is the horizontal range of the projectile. Now, this horizontal range depends on the initial velocity and the angle of projection. Now, when is the horizontal range maximum? At what angle does this horizontal range be maximum? To calculate that, I am going to write this as R max is equal to V naught square. So, if I want this horizontal range to be maximum, I want the sin 2 theta to be equal to 1. Then the range will be maximum. So, if sin 2 theta is equal to 1, then what will be theta? Theta should be equal to 45 degree. So, if theta is 45 degree, 2 into 45 is 90 degree, sin 90 will be equal to 1. In today's session, we studied about the path of a projectile is a parabola, and we have derived the equations for time of flight, maximum height and the horizontal range. The time of flight is found to be 2V naught sin theta by g. Maximum height reached by the projectile is V naught square sin square theta by 2g, and the horizontal range of a projectile is V naught square sin 2 theta by g. So, remember these formulas, and the derivations of these formulas are very important, will be asked for 5 marks in the examination, and using these formulas we are going to solve problems in my next session. So, remember these formulas, will solve problems in the next session. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.